Okay, just gonna talk you through a few things on this organizer. We did talk about it last week at our Zoom meeting, although I know there wasn't a whole lot of attendance at that Zoom meeting, so um, I'll give you a quick crash course here on the assignment, and then get you guys can start working on it. We will Zoom this Thursday during class time. Basically, mainly, if you are confused here and don't quite understand what's going on, we can clarify some things. But it's really not that complicated. When you look at the grid, I understand if you would be overwhelmed initially because there's over 500 squares on this grid, but it's really very simple. So if we look at the top, we have each of our seasons for our constellations, our circumpolar, summer, fall, winter, and spring. And then the constellations that are part of those seasons. For instance, in the fall, Pegasus, Andromeda, and Perseus. And we also have the same labels on the side of the table. Just reference the left here. Same thing. And I did put the labels on the bottom and the right because had these not been here, here, and here, if you were in this square, it might be tough to remember what you're looking at, okay? So let's talk about the colors here. Black squares represent just that constellation, okay? So if I highlight this square, for instance, I have Cassiopeia on the left, and I have Cassiopeia on the top. So this square is reserved simply for only Cassiopeia. Okay. However, if I click on this one, I have Cassiopeia on the left and Cepheus the king above. So this square would be a connection between Cepheus the king, Cassiopeia the queen, and there should be a connection there based on their names. If you look at the gray boxes, these are connections between seasonal or different season constellations. For instance, if there were a connection, and there's not going to be a connection for every single box, but let's say there was a connection between Draco and Delphinus, that info could go here. All right, so what is the info that's going there? If you look at the instructions, you can think about connections in mythology, responses to mythological stories, so maybe your impression of the story or what happened in the story, a personal experience, maybe a meme or a joke that you've seen online, a reaction, a use in advertising or brands. There are references to constellations and figures in pop culture and with some products. Even you can get into astrology, the zodiac signs, and things like that. Okay, you may use pictures, words, web links, anything there to show the information, and you must complete 30 squares, okay, which is not a ton, considering there's like 570 some squares here, okay. 30 is what we're looking at. If possible, use the note feature, insert note, to keep the formatting and appearance consistent. So let me just show you one example you could do. So let's just say, for simplicity reasons, that you never knew how to find Ursa Minor, the Little Dipper. Click on that box, right? Because that's only Ursa Minor. Right click and go to Insert Note. And you could type will take me out of the equation here. We'll say I never knew how to find this until I learned in field biology. Something like that, okay? Now if I unclick that, okay, it appears that it's gone, right? Okay, but it's there still. So to draw attention to this for me, you would need to, it says put a red border around cells you have information on. You could do a red border. You could even fill it in all the way red. I'll show you how to do both here. So if I click on the box, I go to borders. I want to put a border around one box. I want it to be red. And maybe I want the line to be real thick so it's easy to see. There it is. Okay, so that'll draw attention to it. When I'm grading these, I'll say, hey, he's got something in there. Put my cursor over it. There it is. Okay, you get credit for that. Now, let's say you want to put you find a interesting thing online or something. Okay, maybe it's a meme, maybe it's a song, I don't know, something. Okay, very similar concept. You're gonna click on it. You go to insert link. That'll put a link in there. The reason I'd like you to do it that way is just to keep, you can understand if we had a bunch of texts, if I had typed this just in that cell, now that box is going to be all big, right? And it's going to drag out the whole grid. And it might be just kind of like Patrick Lohr said from period 2 on Thursday, controlled chaos, I think is what he said. It could be that, but we're going to give this a shot here. So get going on it. Get working on it. If you're really struggling with how to put the information in before Thursday, I'd rather have you be doing some work on here rather than, waiting till Thursday and then getting behind. So, you could always, simply put your info in somewhere off to the side. You can even add a sheet, and you could just start gathering your thoughts and your information, and then Thursday I could explain to you how to put it in there. Okay, so I'm going to reset this stuff. Here's how you do it. Here's how you reset it. Right click it, clear notes. I don't know if it cleared it actually. Yep, okay. And then, put my border back to normal. No border. There we go. All right, so this will not be due on Sunday. I will set the date. You'll see the date on the assignment. Okay, so this video here for explanation, and then you will get your own copy of the organizer, so everybody has their own, and then eventually you'll hand those in. Okay. Thank you for your time, and have fun searching.